Peace. N for neutral. After I was convicted of my crimes, I ended up processing at Central Prison, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the year 1999. Processing means that's a place where the prisoners go, the newly convicted prisoners go, and it's a place of evaluation. You know, they want to evaluate your psychological state, of course, how much time you have. They want to do your blood work and all that. And depending on those factors, they will send you to the different prisons. And so it normally takes about 3 weeks. At that particular time, there were 2 dorms that were the processing unit. You had O dorm and K dorm. I think O was on top. I was on top, O dorm. And they would alternate on the days between the 2 in which we would go outside. So at 22 years old, I was full of energy, of course. A lot of times I would go out, play basketball and stuff like that. I would wear myself out so that by the time I go back to the dorm, you know, I'm tired, want to take a shower and really get some rest. But on the other days that we didn't go outside, I was really restless. I was bored. I didn't know, at the time, I didn't know how to do time. And it was easy for me to get into some stuff. So there's one particular day, one of my brothers had come up to me. And he was like, yo, man, there's 3 people in the shower, but only 2 shower heads. So I didn't understand what he was saying. I said, what? He was like, there's 3 people in the shower, but only 2 shower heads. And instead of me minding my business, I was like, yo, let's do something. You know, I wanted to be down, to be honest with you. I wanted to be a part of something. So we ended up getting some styrofoam cups, 16 ounces, went into the bathroom where they were, the shower area, filled it up with cold water, and we threw it over the curtain rail, the shower curtain rail. 3 people in the shower. So 2 of the guys, you know, stuck their head out. At the time, they used to call me Slim. For some reason, I was super skinny, but they just gave me that name. They was like, yo, Slim, man. Yo, why? You know, and then here I go. I was like, man, you know, y'all was supposed to be in there doing this and that, doing that. And me and the other brother, we just going in on them. So they started to get it out the shower. So probably 15 minutes after we did that, you know, to be honest with you, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, yeah, you know, me and the brother, we feeling ourselves. I felt that there was tension in the air. The particular dorm had about 200 people. And I realized that word had traveled to what had happened to those different people. And it was a lot of tension in the air. So there was an older guy. At that time, I was like 22. I'm assuming he may have been in his 50s that was living an alternative lifestyle. He ended up coming up to me and the brother and talking to us. And he said it loud and he said it in front of everybody. It was like the spotlight was on us. And he basically told us, he said, yo, the only reason why I'm coming up to y'all is because I know you're young and you're just coming to prison. And he basically just gave it to us. He was like, you need to learn to be neutral. If it does not affect you, mind your business. He ended up telling us that, you know, we may look at that and think that it was a harmless act. But if we had done that to some other people, some people that he know, there's a good chance, you know, we would have been attacked and possibly fatally. This is what he's telling us. And to be honest with you, I was embarrassed because it was done in front of everybody. But deep down, I knew he was telling what he was saying was the truth, deep down. And so, you know, I kind of walked away, me and the brother kind of with an attitude, but I knew he was right. I realized then that that was a piece of advice that I had to heed to, learn to stay neutral, to mind my business, because the goal for me was to make it out of prison and, of course, to stay home. Fast forward probably 12, 13 years. I'm seasoned now, prisoner. I ended up seeing that same guy that lived that alternative lifestyle, the one they gave us that advice, basically. And I wanted to go up to him and to thank him. But I couldn't because we only saw him briefly. But at the few times that I did see him, we were like, I was leaving the mess hall or the chow hall, the kitchen. He was going towards it. And normally the guards wouldn't let you, when you're walking by, they wouldn't let you talk. So I didn't really have the time. I couldn't really say anything to him properly. I don't even know if he recognized me, but I recognized him. But I realized again that that piece of advice was something I needed to hear. And being neutral, minding my business, made my incarceration a whole lot more smoother than it would have been if I didn't learn what it meant to be neutral. My name is Bilal Rasul. I am a 23-year prison survivor connected with the Prison Survivor Network and Second Chance Books. This is the ABC series. the ABCs of how I survived prison. I'm sharing my survival story for anyone that's interested in it, for friends and family of people who are incarcerated, and for those who are on their way to prison and need something real before they get there. In neutral. Peace.